Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. Before we start the meeting and call to order, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call this meeting to order. Jack, do we have proof of meeting notice?
Yes, proof of notice is on file, and we have a proper form.
The approval of the prior minutes from December 11th. Anyone have any omissions, exclusions, changes, any issues? If none exist, I move that we accept the meeting minutes as written.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very well, thank you. Is the sign-in sheet finished or done? Is it still working? Okay, very good. We'll come back to that if you don't mind. That takes me way back. I don't have a report for this evening. Mike, do you?
Not really. I just wanted to mention to everyone, Dennis Powell had an accident this week. I'm just glad you're still here with us. It was at home in the hangar. It was a close call, and we're happy you survived it, and you're going to be okay.
Dennis, do you have anything for us?
No, Randy will have any financials.
Jack?
No, sir.
Very good. Jim?
No, sir.
Diane? Okay. And Jeff?
No report.
Randy?
No.
Nice try. Nice try.
That only goes for the unpaid position.
Sorry. It's okay. Sorry. Okay, you paid me to report. All right. Just an overview. For the last 30 days or so, I spent a lot more quality time out banging on doors. Again, as I said last month, I don't really like to write nasty letters because we got about a 90% compliance of all the people that were knocking on doors. That's good. Most people are pretty friendly. They respond pretty well. We have one really tough case, and that's down on Lima, that Arrow, and he refuses to move that, so I've started the paperwork, and we'll get that moved. It'll just take a little time. So working a lot on the covenants and restrictions. And then we made a little change tonight. I spent $40 of your money and bought a tape recorder one time, so we don't have the lady recording anymore for $85 per meeting, so I'll save a little money there. I will record it, I'll have it in my computer if anybody wants it, I can shoot it to you. But it's really kind of a backup because we do have the video online. I again met with Debbie Mars on the website, working on some of the problems we've been discussing, and Dennis and I had some conversations my first month here. I'm getting more acquainted now with the various sections of the site and what I think we need to improve, so there will be more on that as we move forward. I continue to attend a lot of committee meetings. Just one that I never miss is Diane's because they have so much going on. And that's the one that we have a lot of questions about every day when people walking in. When's it gonna be done? And I just give them Diane's cell number and that's the end of that. But, and then I like to stick my head in on the art committee because Fred and John are just, well, all of them on that committee actually, but they know more than the county, I think, on a lot of this stuff. Very interesting to watch them maneuver. Then we renewed the property insurance with Brown & Brown on January the 1st. They came in with the best price, and we bumped the policy up just a little bit for 78 cents per lot in the community. We've doubled our coverage on accidental and bodily injury and property damage. So I think that was a good thing. You never know. Computer systems backup, I told you last month we were working on putting all the backups all the time into the cloud. We've completed that project. The ladies in the office completed all the documents out to and did the mail out for the annual meeting, which is the 28th. And the box in there is full of proxies, so must have got out all right. Everybody's sending it in. On December the 18th, I met with David Batten, and he's principal with the accounting firm of BMJ CPAs. He sent me an engagement letter, which I didn't have until yesterday. So I've got it now, and I put it on the table in front of each of you on the board. It is identical to the engagement letter of last year. He's quoting between $7,000 and $8,000 to do the audit, between $300 and $400 to file a tax return, $250 miscellaneous expenses for phone calls, things of that nature. So if, I don't know, Paul, you want to vote on that, or what do you want to do?
First off, I have the copy from 2016. I think that indicated it was $6,000 to $7,000 during 2016.
Was it?
And now you're saying it's 7 to 8.
7 to 8 is what he quoted, yeah. 7 to 8, and last year it was, the copy I looked at for last year said 7 to 8 as well, but I could be, don't have the latest. Well, that's what it said. I checked it twice, but be happy to
I
print it
might have
again.
read it wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I could be wrong.
Randy, since he's so used to our procedures and our numbers and we're all set up on his computer, why don't you see if we can negotiate that to no higher than 7?
How long have they been doing this for us now?
Ooh. Looks like 4, 5, 6 years. I don't know, who knows? Anybody know? No?
It's been a good 5 years.
We're all happy with their work?
I might add, Paul, that this quote is, when we transferred it over to him, we had been using more. And Dave came in and did it for half of what we were paying more. We were paying $15,000 or $16,000.
Alan, that's called price creep though, so he's up to 7, 8 the next year.
Randy, how's that price sound to you?
Good. Very fair.
I'm kind of inclined to accept this the way it's written. If the board has a desire to add this to the agenda and go ahead and use this as an opportunity to push this forward, I'd be more than willing to agree to that.
Why don't you just cross out the 8, just leave the 7 and then we can vote on it.
I'm not inclined to do that, Jack. Let's just leave it the way it is. What, well, I should ask this then. What determines whether it's 7 or 8? I mean, is there anything different about our accounting
The
that?
amount of time it takes. Does he get the information from us quickly? Is it accurate? Does he have to keep going back? Every one that I've ever had, they always give you a range. They won't nail down.
Okay, and we have enough staff to help him with whatever he needs?
We've given him everything he's asked for, so.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion we accept this as written.
Second that one.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The record, Jack opposes as a result of the 78,000. Motion carries. Thank you, Randy.
Okay.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Can I say one last thing?
Yes.
Just as a great thing that's happening, a year ago tonight, we had $540,000 still in receivables on the assessments that are due. Late fees start on the 11th. So day after tomorrow, we need to have them all in. As of today, we're at 289,000. So we've cut it in two. That's like 46% increase. Don't really know why, but it must have been the fees last year. So hopefully in the next couple of days, we'll get more.
Randy, I do have a question regarding the Brown & Brown insurance.
Yes.
Did I read that right when you indicated that as a result of some discussion you had with them in negotiations with this new contract, that it covered any POA sponsored event as well?
Yes, we added all of the events. They are covered. And thanks to our friend Mel here, he came and sat with me and explained how all of that worked and how I could make that happen. So it's not like I'm that brilliant. He is.
We had we've had some POA, actually not POA sponsored activities here. Mike was very much involved with Wings and Wheels, where insurance for the event ended up costing between $4,000 and $5,000 just for the single event, and it became so burdensome that it was null and void. They couldn't make enough money to even make it a worthwhile effort. So we stopped Wings and Wheels. If we reinvigorate Wings and Wheels or some other type of benefit for the association, could the policy extend to that kind of activity as well?
Probably could. We would have to let them know. I had to list every event.
I see.
You know, so
What are the main events, Randy?
you probably know better than I. I mean,
But are they spelled out in the policy?
they are. Yes,
Is it too late to amend the policy to include wings?
probably so. We've already. Paid.
I would rather not include that specific, but any others that might come up during the course of the year.
He said it's pretty general. You know, adding the stuff is, everything that I asked for. It wasn't a problem. He said, "Can you buy extra insurance? And will the insurance company, if you have a claim, come back and say you could have paid, you could have added more or something?" But the insurance agent told me it's just a way for them to get money. He said you're fine and you're covered.
Yeah, Melvin?
They will typically make later adjustments if you just tell them within a day or two.
Right, yeah.
And we expect that unless it was something that had an extraordinary risk to be no cost.
Very good. Thank you, Randy.
Yes.
Okay, we have a sign-up list. Is there anyone there that wants to address the board and or the assemblage? Bonnie?
Today we got a phone call from Paul that whoever the committee was that was supposed to clean up after the Christmas decorations, they couldn't get anybody to clean up the Christmas decorations. Paul and Shirley Brevard did it themselves. So I publicly announce, thanks guys.
We're not quite finished. We got rained out today, but it's with a lot of help. We had Mike Kelly, John Ferguson, Jeff. We've had a lot of folks out there when we put them up. I know during the holidays it's kind of tough to get your schedule worked around sufficiently enough to come back again and take them back down again. But I will say this. Last year, our group that traditionally put the lights up had come to us with the idea. I'm sorry, the name is escaping me right now.
Community relations.
Community relations, yes, thank you. That group came to us with a proposal to have a professional team come in and put up the decorations. Now, there were 3 different proposals. Part of this had to do with the fact that, and no shame on them, the folks are just getting older and climbing up on ladders and that sort of thing is really not what you want to do. I'm not encouraging anyone to do that either. And so I understand that maybe looking into a vendor to come in to string up lights and do that sort of thing in hand greaves might be entirely appropriate. What I was taken aback by a little bit was the cost associated with that, and I ended up not responding very well to what happened afterwards. We as a group decided we were going to get volunteers to put the lights up and take the lights down, and that's precisely what happened at no cost to the association. However, after the experience, it became clear to me that part of the reason why they wanted to do this is because a lot of our decorations don't work. They're old, they need to be replaced, and I think their intent in this whole process was to not just get the lights put up, but also to maybe replace some of the aging stuff that we had, get rid of some of the things that don't work anymore or are of no value. And so it wasn't until we got through this process that it became very clear to me. And I met with the ladies regarding this and expressed my concern and my interest in moving forward next year with maybe entertaining that kind of a process again. So all of that being said, I apologize profusely to the nice ladies who were kind enough not to treat me like somebody might treat me in the shop, and so they were very gracious, and we moved on. But I do anticipate that before next year that we'll have something more in place in order to make sure that our gates are well taken care of during the holidays. Anyone else have anything? Very well.
Diane?
Yes.
You're on.
At our last board meeting, we had a proposal to look at 3 sections of our aging storm drainage pipes. And the board approved $35,000 on a general 30% rule of pipes, the long run of pipes, only having 30% of those joints that had failed. Just before Christmas, Shenandoah came out and started on Borman Court to King Air Court for a total of 454 linear feet. We surpassed the 30% rule. It went to 100%. Every joint had failed. And out of the $35,000 that was approved for 3 different sections in the community, we only completed that 454 feet. They had to seal 45 joints in that run of pipes. And tonight we have a guest, Louis Waska from Shenandoah, and has the video of those pipes. And so that one section, we've still got 2 that we know we have problems with, that the erosion that is going on there. And I will turn this over to Louis Waska at this time.
Okay, what this video here is the run under the taxiway between Borman and King Air. And this right here, I can't expand it because it was a proprietary, we're trying to figure that out. But you can see, like right here, he's drilling what we would call a pilot hole right there. And you can see the migration of the water coming out of the joint next to it to the left. And he's getting that prepped to shoot grout into it. Now what we were finding, I'm sorry, if you can't see it. So you can see the typical, this here is where the water's migrating through the joint right there. He's drilling that. Sorry about that. This right here is the joint that's failing. You can see the trickle of water and everything, and all this sand that's in this pipe is from the failures on the joints. What he's doing right now is he's doing the pilot hole. He's getting it ready to set the gun on it to shoot the grout through it, and then it migrates around the joint and it seals it back up. a lot of these times, whenever you're running into these situations, you got a combination of a few different things. There's O-rings in there, the gasket could have failed on the pipe itself, it could have, twisted the gasket whenever it was installed, and we have run into instances where there were no gaskets at all, they just pushed the pipe together. And this particular one, from going through the video reports, there are gaskets there because I've noticed he was calling out some of them being exposed, so that would tell me that, they split or turned. Yes, sir.
Is the grout you're getting ready to install a cement grout, or is it a plastic composite?
It isn't cement grout, it isn't a cellular grout, it's more like a polymer.
Okay.
Okay, so what it does is an expansion and everything, and it'll expand around it. So right now, he's shooting the grout through there with each one of the knobs. He just told him to turn the pump up. Fortunately, on these situations, on these runs, the pipe are big enough that you could do a man entry. The smaller diameter lines, you can use packers to do them also. The unfortunate thing, like I explained to Diane, was when they got into this line, every single joint in this entire run, it was 3 sections of pipe in the 454 feet. All of them but about 4 or 5 in the run from the taxiway to King Air, there were signs of infiltration and, the joint failing. There was stains and sand in the lines. Now keep in mind that, like right now, what he's showing, like you saw the sand in the bottom of the pipe right there, these pipes were cleaned prior to them going in to start doing the repairs on the joints. So that's what kind of infiltration you're getting. Right now he's sealing up his hole right there with oakum, and then that grout, it's a time set. Like you can slow it down or speed it up for how much you want it to migrate. And then once it starts to kick, it'll expand and everything. So pretty much the whole video of all this is, him showing you of each joint. First they'll go through, they'll pre-TV it, determine which ones are bad, which ones are okay, and then after that they go in and start doing the videos of, the repairs. So that's what this whole video is, and I got 2 more of them just like it. Is there any questions or anything?
It's a general question. But if we got surprised here with the number of affected joints, didn't we have a circumstance where this was, a camera was run through there so that we could not be surprised by the number of joints that were affected?
That's what I would recommend, is to get in, televise everything. At this time, we were making assumptions. The 30% rule, like which I had explained to Diane, is based off a history of, doing grout work in other lines. So prior to the proposals being put together for these 5 runs in the 3 different areas, there was no camera run through them. So at that point, we did not know.
What's the cost in pipes of this size if you take a camera run? You do whatever cleaning you're going to do, then take a camera run so you can actually see the effect.
I'd have to nail down that cost. Normally it goes by the hour or so, which would be like $185. But if you call somebody out to do multiple, then there'll be a different per foot break and so forth.
In cases like this, Melvin, we've had some erosion around the piping on this particular run. And the erosion speaks to the idea that we've got joint leakage anyway. And so while I agree running cameras might be advantageous here, it may be that our biggest target is going to be the pipe runs that do show some surface erosion. I think that may be our moving target at this point. I don't see us spending the money to seal every single joint and trying to do that across the association. I just don't think that's going to be possible for us. It will cause us to at least consider to some degree whether or not we're going to bury any more pipe as a result. A lot of this failure of these seals are done so because the pipe is moving, and it's moving in sand. And it's not stationary sufficiently well enough that even a well-placed seal is going to have any guarantee that it's going to stay there. So I think to some degree we have to consider that this is just part of our environment. But if we're addressing pipe that has obviously failed to create, to the extent that it has created some erosion, then I think that's our first target. Beyond that, running cameras in order to determine overall deterioration might surely be what we're going to do moving forward. But I think for right now, the targeting is going to be on erosion.
The question was directed at the surprise. I was here in the last meeting whenever this was discussed, and it was believed that for the price that was discussed, $35,000, as I remember, that they're going to get substantially more work done. I don't think anybody mentioned at that time, or I don't recall it being mentioned, that there was a presumption that went with that estimate. I interpreted it to mean that we were going to seal whatever required sealing in that.
Well, the presumption was that it was the 30% rule.
That only 30% of those joints would have failed.
Yeah.
Now that I understand that,
Yeah.
in order for them to make any sensible planning, the question would be, how much does it cost to have a real look, so you know exactly what it's going to cost before you start?
Yeah, right now, like we were looking at the other two areas, and those were put together as a worst-case scenario. So that way, if it did come, under that, then naturally that's what you would be charged. As far as what I believe you're looking for, the only way to say, okay, you got 13 in this line, you got 2 in this line, would be to run a camera through all of it first. But like Paul had mentioned, what threw up the flag in these particular areas was, surface erosion and so forth. Yes, sir.
What's the guarantee on the work?
There's a one year workmanship and material guarantee. But like I had told Diane whenever we first started talking, we're not a company that runs away from everything.
So if these need redoing in a year, you'll do that at no cost to the
Yes,
parent?
sir. Yes.
Don't want to belabor the subject, but could we suggest that since here is a pipe that, here is a section 400 plus feet that turns out to have every joint affected, it might be worth the money to go back in about a year and just run a camera and have a look at that.
Before the year, so he can fix it for free.
And one of the ways to do it, a sanity check also, sir, would periodically, if you look in the structures, and if you see sand in any one of these, then we know we got a problem again. Because it won't take long for it to migrate to the structures.
I worked on this committee and I've seen a bunch of these and have some experience with that.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes the erosion around those joints I can step all the way up to my knee. I know I'm vertically challenged, but that's still a deep hole that can cause a lot of damage.
Well, I don't think we should have any doubt about the fact of having to fix whatever joint is leaking when it comes to the